to Better Banking. My name is Paul Gentile. The holidays are upon us, and for many, that means shopping, shopping, and more shopping. Did you know that this year, online holiday shopping is set to break an all-time record, on pace to surpass $100 billion in sales? Internet traffic will be abuzz. Millions of consumers will be entering their credit card numbers online to complete the many purchases they'll make. But how safe is this, especially when we hear all the news about credit card hacks and security breaches? We need to ask ourselves, are we safe? And what should we be doing as we shop online to ensure that we remain safe? Well, we'll find out as we chat with the president and CEO of Iuvo Technologies, an IT consulting firm. We'll also have a pep talk on the many ways you can be successful in managing your finances during the upcoming year, in a segment we're calling 10 Key Tips for Financial Success in 2018. So let's get started. Here's Walter Laskos with part one of our two-part discussion on cybersecurity.
So Brian, thank you for being with us today, and let's begin our conversation. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Okay, my name is Brian Bioman. I'm CEO and president of Iuvo Technologies, and we're an IT consulting firm. We do managed services, and we help companies with all types of IT services, including IT security.
So I guess I could say we're coming to a good source when we want to talk about cybersecurity and being on the internet and how to stay safe, the whole bit, which then leads me to my first question.
Okay.
We're in the holiday season. People everywhere are shopping, getting their holiday gifts. Every year we read how more and more people are doing purchases online. So with all those people being online, and we hear about hackers and we see all the breaches that are occurring, how do we stay safe when we're online over the holidays?
Yeah, this is tough because I personally do a lot of shopping online. I mean, almost all of it I can, and so it's becoming prevalent. But like you said, there's hacks that come out, the viruses, even the IRS. I think 227 million false tax returns were submitted in 2016.
Right. Yeah.
Equifax breach, we read about them all the time. And so some of this is the company's fault, but we need to be extra vigilant about that. And there's a lot of good ways to do that.
And I think about it that you get a lot of folks that may not be as tech savvy, right? Because if you have the technical expertise, it's easy enough when you're dealing with your laptop or your computer at home. But if you're not tech savvy, or sometimes in the case of older folks, they may not be as knowledgeable about the laptops and all that. How do we stay safe? What's your advice to them?
Yeah, well, I think you hit a nail on the head there. We can't expect people to be security experts, let alone computer experts. They just want to shop online. They want to be safe. Mm-hmm. So I like to think of it in kind of a simple way. I like to relate IT security to a car. So most people have a car and know what a car is, right?
Oh, cool. Yes.
So I think if you think about that car, we want to do things safely. So for example, the first thing, there's a couple things we got to do, and I think about when I get into a car, what's the first thing I do? Mm-hmm. I put the seatbelt on.
That's right.
And I make sure that everybody in my car has a seatbelt on. So how that relates to IT security is that I think the same thing about antivirus. A seatbelt is like antivirus. Every computer in your house should have antivirus. Whether it's a Mac or a PC, you're not going to single one out because you think it's going to be more, somebody in the back seat doesn't have to wear a seatbelt. Everyone should wear a seatbelt.
That's right.
Everyone should have antivirus. So that's step one. I think that solves a lot of that's a first good base, right?
Yeah, and I like the explanation that you're using about a car itself and a seatbelt, the basics, because when you think about it, with the car you have your safety mechanisms, but then you also have other things that you do in terms of maintenance of the car and things of that sort as well too. But go on, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so you're driving the car, and so let's say if I'm in a car and I want to be safe, and we're driving all around New England, sometimes Boston traffic can be crazy. You want to be safe, right?
Correct.
So if I get in an accident, one thing I want to know is that I'm going to be safe in an accident, because just like internet, something could happen to you, right? So related to that, I would say I like to have a car with airbags, right? So I want to protect my head, my brain, so they have curtain side airbags, all these various airbags. So I kind of relate to this to if your hard drive crashed, you need to recover it. You want to be safe, and backups. So the way to do that is to back up your data, your brain, protect your brain with airbags. The same kind of concept.
Ah, I see. That's that's a very interesting thing. But Brian, when you think about it, we could go through steps like that, just like you say with the car, and we have the airbags, we have the seat belts. Let's say we're doing the maintenance, changing the oil, basic things of that sort, making sure that the air and pressure of the tires is right and all. But you could take all those precautions, but does that guarantee that we still cannot become a victim to hacking or a breach?
No. I mean, there's no guarantee, but you have to. I think if you think about security and security in layers, just like you're driving a car, and you're going to take good care of your car and maintenance, make sure you have good tires. You mentioned tires or mentioned maintenance. One thing about maintenance is maintaining your computer. So your computer, you need to make sure. It's always asking for updates, and when somebody says, "I'll do updates later," you should do updates all the time, because that's the Microsoft or Apple's way of saying, we have a problem here, we need to fix it. And that's what these hackers, these cyber criminals, they're taking advantage of the fact that you're just too busy to update, or you're too busy to turn your firewall that's on your computer on. And these are the maintenance things that there's one more layer that these hackers, these cyber criminals have to get past.
Okay, I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
Right? So you talk about the updates with the computer.
Yeah.
Now, are there ways that we could schedule when those updates occur? Because I'm one that, like, when I'm working on a computer and I need it like right away, I need to do something, and all of a sudden it pops up, well, we have to install this latest update, and half an hour later I'm still waiting for the update to happen. Any advice?
Yeah, so I have the same problem at home with my kids. Like, so you can on your computer you can configure it to say update regularly, or only download updates and update during the next boot. Some things that are not as they're more convenient for you.
I see. So you can schedule them.
Schedule, yeah, so that they happen, because if you wait too long, then when the criminals can take advantage of you.
That's right. Particularly so. The other thing that I know that I engage a lot in and come across is like when I have emails, and I get a link in an email, and it's like, oh my God, you have this tendency just to click on any link. Is that smart?
No. And that is a really common problem. So I want to step back a moment, because there's a lot of, one thing that's driving the cyber criminals right now is that they're making a lot of money. I mean, we're talking millions, and this is through, without going into detail of, they're bitcoins, and people like, for example, they put a virus on your computer and they extort you and say, in order to get your data back, pay us money, and they do it in bitcoins. Because this is anonymous, they're able to make like almost billions of dollars collectively, right? So, this goes to the point they're being very aggressive and very clever. So you get this email and it has a link in it, and it could be real. It could be an attempt to try to click you on a link to install some malware onto your computer.
That's right.
So my advice, in a very simple way, is when you get a message that has a link in it, one thing you can do is you take your mouse, you can hover over that link, and maybe it says it's from your bank or Netflix or something like that. But you hover over it and it brings up where it's really going, and it might be Netflix, or it might be a misspelling that's really similar, right? But better than that, don't click on the link. Like if you're expecting, you're working with a banking, and they're telling you your password expired, your account's overdue, or something like that, ignore the link and just log into your portal. Because if you log into your portal, just type it in manually where you always go. Chances are that same announcement is going to be on the portal, and you can avoid this link.
Now, when you're saying going into your portal, you're saying like go to the banking site that you usually do your business on and log in there.
That's true. Yeah. Go to your banking site. Go to this leads to a real recent one. Netflix has a lot of users, right? And there's a current scam out. I think it's 220-some thousand emails out to fake emails from Netflix saying your account's overdue. You can no longer, binge watch, right? And so people are clicking on this, but instead, just go to Netflix and go to your account and log in and say, am I okay? Same thing. Whatever account you have, go directly to the source and don't click on the link.
And I also think that since we're on the topic, I think it's very important that we underscore to our viewers that you do not put your social security number in response to something like this, or your let's say credit card numbers, because the hackers, they're looking for these ways to get that information from you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think when well, I want to share first though that I think it's very important that we realize that a lot of older folks are being taken advantage of. With financial scams and also with scams over the internet. And I think perhaps I have a family member who got an email and it was some kind of a virus, and click here to get the help that you need to have it resolved. And she wound up clicking on that link, and next thing you know, they're asking for, we could come onto your computer, take control, we could get rid of the virus for you. It's going to cost you like $50. And she went through the whole process of doing that, and here it was a hacking scam to get access to the computer. Do you see a lot of that stuff going on?
Boy, I've experienced this personally. My mother-in-law had the exact same thing happen to her. It was a pop-up from a website. It said, your computer has a problem. Click on here, we'll help you. It was all meant to look helpful. She gave them, she paid them.
Oh, geez.
And so and she knows I'm a computer person. So now she calls me every time something happens. But not everybody has that, right? So not everybody has that. So when these things pop up, just to be clear, Microsoft, they don't do that. The operating system vendors, they don't pop up and say, we have a problem, call Microsoft. It just doesn't happen. So I think you'll always be cautious, always be skeptical about these pop-ups, because they're particularly targeting the elderly, and that's really kind of it's upsetting to me.
That's right, yeah, because we see that a lot. The Credit Union Association recently did a survey, in terms of looking at the abuse that goes on to elderly, and we're finding quite a large number of elderly folks, are taken advantage of over the internet. Right. And also over the telephone with all kind of scams like that. So it's really something I think that's it falls to folks like us and a lot of folks that are caregivers to really do their utmost to try and protect the elderly from being victims of these kind of scams.
Sure.
For more information, visit the resources and blog pages of IUVO Technologies, and watch for part 2 of our conversation about cybersecurity in the January edition of Better Banking.
As the new year approaches, our conversation with family members and friends will sooner than later touch on the subject of New Year resolutions. So as you ponder what kind of resolution you might want to make, listen closely to our next segment, 10 Tips for Financial Success in 2018, presented by Greenwood Credit Union.
Here are 10 tips for financial success in 2018. The number 10 financial goal for 2018 is to define your financial goals. At the start of the new year, it's common for people to set goals, make New Year's resolutions. Often, it's around losing weight, getting more education, or starting a hobby. But you should establish one for your finances. What would you like your financial well-being to look like at the end of the year? It may be as simple as paying off your credit card debt or establishing an emergency savings account. You decide. You do it. You can be successful. Unlike most resolutions, let's make this one work. Here are some tips to help you be successful. Start small. Pick a goal that is achievable. Make a plan. A well-defined path to a goal will produce better results. Track your results. Even small progress towards that goal will help you be successful. Talk about your goal. Talk with your family, talk with your friends. They will help you be successful as well. Don't give up. You will likely hit bumps in the roads, but keep working hard. You can be successful.
Tip number 9, plan for your retirement. Start saving early. If you didn't, there's still hope to. Try and utilize your company's 401k and contribute what they match. And if you can, add 1% over their match. Most companies match up to 4%. If your company doesn't offer a 401k, open an IRA. Under age 50, you can contribute $5,500, and over age 50, you can contribute $6,500. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look at stocks, bonds, mutual funds, money markets, CDs, savings accounts, and always speak to a trusted advisor at one of your local credit unions.
Tip number 8, improve your credit score. The best ways to improve your credit score in 2018 are to, most importantly, pay your bills on time. This is the #1 factor in improving your credit score. And remember, if you're ever late on a payment, bring it up to date and keep it up to date. Secondly, and just as important, make sure that you use your credit cards responsibly. You can have credit cards, but don't have too many. Keep 2 to 3 open and close the rest that you don't use on a regular basis. Also, keep your balances as low as possible. You want to make sure that your balances are nowhere near your credit limits because that will hurt your credit score. Also, you don't want to open too many new credit cards in a short period of time to help improve your credit. It could actually damage your credit. The other thing you want to do is have a good mix of revolving debt, which is credit cards, and installment debt like auto loans, personal loans, and mortgages. For every credit card you have open, you should have an installment debt to offset it and improve your credit score. And finally, you should check your credit report for errors. In today's age of widespread identity theft and big company data breaches, errors in credit reports are common. Every 12 months, you should check it for accuracy. You can do that by visiting the annualcreditreport.com website, and you can also check the myfico.com website for more tips on how to improve your credit score.
Tip number 7, spend your money wisely. Don't spend money you don't have. It may be simple, but it's not that easy. We've become a society of consumers. We consume, which means we buy. Companies and their marketing departments surround us with messages to buy the next big things or the gotta have new products. Do you remember the pet rock, Cabbage Patch dolls? Or how about the fidget spinner? Did we really need them? Which brings me to the idea of the difference between want and need. To help you spend wisely, I think you should remember this fact. Wants are limitless. Income is limited. If you remember that little fact, it will help you prioritize your spending. Put your needs first. The top 2 needs are food and shelter. But even within those 2 needs, your spending can be negatively impacted by wants. You may want a pool at your house or a 60-inch TV in your apartment, but you don't need them. You may want to eat out at a fancy restaurant, but you don't really need to. For example, my wife and I a couple of years ago decided to make the decision to stop purchasing coffee every day at our local chain coffee shop. We instead bought a coffee maker and make our coffee at home. This, over the course of 1 year, saved us $3,000. Understanding wants versus needs will help you save your money and spend wisely. Here are some other tips. Avoid impulse purchases. Buy in bulk. Use coupons or applications such as Groupon or Ibotta to help you yield some savings on your purchases. Wait for products to go on sale. And join retail rewards programs. Prioritizing your spending can help you achieve financial success.
Here's tip number 6. Improve your financial literacy. How much do you really know about the financial services industry? It seems like there are new products and services introduced all the time. How do you really know what's right for you? Here are some tips to keep in mind. Review your credit card statement. Take a look at the minimum monthly payment section and see how long it will really take you to pay off your debt. Also, review fees and interest rates and see what that debt is really costing you. Take a look at your insurance coverages at least annually. Do you have enough? Too much maybe? Things like life insurance, automobile coverage, homeowners insurance, or renter's insurance. These are all important components to your financial well-being. When something bad happens, you want to be sure that you're protected as much as possible. Learn financial and investing terminology and the basics of personal accounting. Remember to ask questions. Ask lots of questions, and don't be afraid to say that you don't understand. It's better to feel comfortable with making the right decision. Remember, the better educated you are as a consumer, the better the consumer you will be. Lastly, here are a few more tips to help you get better educated with financial literacy.
Hi, I'm Allison, and I'm going to talk about tip number 5 about how to save for a goal. When you identify a need or anticipate a need for a large purchase, it's time to set a goal. And in order to reach your goal, you need to have a plan. Let's look at an example. You have a sense that your refrigerator is going to need to be replaced in the next 6 months. Let's assume the cost of the new refrigerator is going to cost $600. So you're going to need about 6 months to be able to save for that. You don't have an extra $100 a month to save for that? That's okay. Here are a few tips to help you save an extra $100 a month. Tip number 1 would be to eat out less often. It is more cost affordable to be able to make your meals at home. Tip 2, bring your lunch to work. Leftovers are great, especially if you made extra the night before. That's a win-win for both dinner and for lunch. Make your coffee at home. $3 a day for coffee before work adds up really quickly. If you get a coffee every day, that's 5 times a week. That's $60 a month just in coffee. That's 60% of what you're trying to reach for the month of $100. Tip number 4, collect your change in a piggy bank or a jar. I leave jars in a convenient place like my dresser or by the laundry machine. This helps me as a reminder to save my change. Tip number 5, shop by yourself. This is less pressure to buy things that you may not necessarily need. Tip number 6, buy house brands instead of name brands. Is there really a difference? Except in the price tag. Remember, sacrifices today are big rewards tomorrow. Now, congratulations, it's been 1 month and you've saved $100. Great job. Now let's make it even sweeter. Deposit that $100 into your local credit union into a savings account and you will earn interest on that money. That's free money. Take advantage of it. Just imagine if after 6 months and you saved your $600 and your refrigerator is still working. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep saving.
The number 4 financial tip for 2018 is to establish an emergency savings account. Life happens. Sometimes what happens is unexpected and unpleasant. You or your family could suffer from a health issue. The car may need emergency repairs, or worse, someone could lose their job. So what happens next? The best way to manage a financial emergency is to have planned for it in advance. Think of an emergency savings account as your financial safety net. Here are 3 strategies to help you get started establishing your emergency savings account. Number 1, how much should you save? Save 5% of your take-home pay each time you get paid. Build that reserve up to when you have roughly 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses saved. Number 2, how to save it. Think of it this way. Pay yourself first. Ask your employer to do an automatic payroll deduction of that 5% and send it to a separate savings account. You should not mix your emergency savings funds with your everyday living expenses. 3, what should you use the fund for? Only real emergencies, like unexpected medical expenses, or home or auto repair. And in the event of a job loss, you have essential living expenses provided for. And should you find the need to use your emergency savings account, remember, replenish it once the emergency is over.
And the number 3 financial tip for 2018 is creating a budget. So far we have talked about setting financial goals, saving for retirement, or even saving for unexpected expenses. In order to accomplish any of these objectives, you must first create yourself a budget in order to track your income and expenses. Typically, most people will create a budget based on a monthly basis. First, you will write down your income, your take-home pay, which is the amount that's actually deposited into your account. If you get paid weekly, multiply that number by 4. If you get paid bi-weekly, multiply that number by 2. Next, you will write down all of your monthly expenses, which typically fall into 3 categories. First are your fixed expenses. These occur every month and are always for the same amount, for example, your mortgage or your car loan. Next are your variable expenses. These occur every month but are typically for different amounts. These include groceries or gas. I would always recommend over budgeting, meaning setting aside a higher amount for that expense than a lower one. Last, you have your periodic expenses. These may or may not occur, however, should always be budgeted for. After writing down your income and subtracting away all of your expenses, the money that is left over should then be used to save for retirement or saved for unexpected expenses. It is great to create a budget. Sticking to the budget is the hardest part. Always track your results to see how you do and to see if you need to make any changes. Be disciplined. It is difficult, however, the results will be you fulfilling all of your financial dreams.
Here's tip number 2. Don't stress out. There will be bumps in the road, so don't sweat it. Adjust your plan, modify your budget, but stay focused on your financial goals. Here are some thoughts to keep in mind. Did you know that if you make a plan and talk about it, it can help you feel less stressed? Remember, you're in the majority. Finances cause most people the most stress. You're not alone. If your payment is late, remember, you're not the only one. Call your bank, speak to somebody, and they can help you make payment arrangements that work for you. You'll feel less stressed, and they'll appreciate you staying in communication. Remember, debt is not always bad. In the right amount and for right purposes, it's the good thing to do. Borrowing money to pay for larger purchases, things that provide a value or service over a long period of time, is the right way to use debt. Buying a home, purchasing a car, or investing in your business or your education is the right way to utilize debt. Borrowing money to pay for consumables and services that are consumed is bad. An example of that would be using credit card debt to purchase groceries. But be smart. If you think you'll own a car for 5 years, don't take out a 7-year car loan. By the time you want to get a new car 5 years from now, you'll still owe money on the first one. Again, don't stress out.
And the number one financial tip for 2018 is to contact your credit union professional.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm here to help you with the purchase of your new home or to refinance your existing mortgage. I can help select the program that is right for you for the right monthly payment to help you reach your financial needs.
Hi, I'm Bob. I'm here to help you purchase the right car for your budget. I can customize a loan term and a payment that's right for your resources.
Hi, my name is Mike. Whether you're looking to do a debt consolidation, pay for a large expense, or home improvement, I'm here to help you select the right home equity product to fit your financial needs.
Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm here to help you open your checking account. This account allows you to pay your bills and have access to a debit card. I will be able to advise you which checking account is best for you and how to transfer funds between your accounts.
Hi, my name is Saran, and I am here to help you with any of your technology needs. I will be able to help guide you through our mobile app and our online banking system, which brings our branch directly to you and gives you the flexibility to bank anywhere and at any time.
Hi, I'm Holly. For any commercial or business-related product or service, loans, lines of credit, or deposit accounts, large or small, I'm here to help you.
And that's a wrap for the December edition of Better Banking. Next month, we'll hear part 2 of our cybersecurity discussion and once again revisit our 10 tips for financial success in 2018. As always, we invite you to take a minute to send us any questions or comments you may have. For all the credit throughout the state of Rhode Island, I'm Paul Gentile, wishing you and your family a better banking experience. Happy holidays.